Oh, because it's coming off the internet already. How you going? Going, guys? Isn't this for perfect weather? Yeah, good.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, thank you.
You shouldn't say that to me.
No. It's all right. My missus doesn't either.
My husband, Joe. I'm Nancy.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome.
We're gonna just get this live going and. How you going, mate? This bloody weather is going to scare a lot of people away, I reckon. So it'll be interesting to see how many people actually show up. It was hectic driving in. In a minute. I'm just doing all the sharing and then I'll... How you going, mate? How you doing? Thank you, brother. How you going, mate? Yeah, get some B-roll.
How are you?
While I just do the final sharing.
Yeah, it's that summer. I was looking forward to a bit of heat, some dryness. We're in a fucking North Face. Didn't Dan Andrews wear that top of the block?
I love Dan.
He had a stroke.
why I bought it.
Suffolk. What's wrong? Oh, good on you. Subscribe to Auditing Australia, the original live streamer in Melbourne. Hey, this bloke here used to run away when he realised I was live streaming before you were doing the security detail. He used to take off.
One, two.
Alright, where's Benji? There he is. Yep. Alright, what a horrible day here in Melbourne. Sorry guys, I actually feel like today is going to be what will only be described as a massive fizzle. It was pissing down when we came in here today. I almost considered turning around and leaving. It's not too bad now. We'll see what happens. But welcome to the live stream. How you doing? How you going? What's happening, mate? You good?
Good, you well?
Yeah, good, man. This weather is killer.
When did you get back?
I don't know. What day are we? I don't know.
Sunday.
Sunday, so probably Friday, I think. How you going, mate? How you doing? You good? Get away from the music.
Hey, Avi!
How you going, mate?
Oh man, it is great to see you.
It's good to see.
Happy Hanukkah.
I wish everyone was as
Oh,
as
man.
excited as you are to see
Oh,
me.
it's good. This guy's like my brother.
How you going, mate? You good? Well, brother, we have different mums, as you can tell.
That's true.
How you going, guys? You good?
Avi. Oi, oi,
What's happening? Oh, okay, lads. How you doing? How you doing? You good? I think we'll just capture the speeches, I reckon. That's going to be the main thing here.
It's been terrible.
Yeah, the old Iranian ones.
Oh,
That's a good one.
something? Okay.
Yeah. That's the prior to the Islamic Revolution.
Okay.
So they're the good guys.
All right.
Sometimes
Good to know.
it's a difference in the. That's got the. I think sun and lion on it. Yeah.
And the current one doesn't.
No, it has like that Islamic symbol.
Mate, it's Melbourne. What do you suspect? It's Melbourne, bro.
Do you want to chuck? Do you want to chuck thing over him? Make sure.
Hi.
How you doing?
Was Sylvia okay? Sylvia Solomon in the
Yeah, she was okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I said so. Yeah. I saw her again at the memorial. Yeah.
I'm wondering if she'll come here. Her daughter's here.
Ah. No, she.
Sorry, Braver.
What is that?
Correct.
Good.
Correct.
Long time no see.
I know.
It's been
I
a
was
while.
saying to Nick, it's been way too long. Way too long. We'll catch up for sure.
No, John.
Enough's enough, man. Enough's enough.
Maybe on that one.
I'll introduce you.
You're on the joke, my friend. It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
We'll have a chat after. We'll let them do their thing.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly. I'm one of the. I think I'm one of the speakers. So
Yeah, you're speaking, mate.
yeah, I'll let you guys go first, and I'll let me calm down a bit.
You're going to be the main event.
Hey, how's Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua? Nick,
Those salutes. I did it. As soon as I did it, I dropped it.
Why did you guys pick a time like this with the weather?
Yeah. Look, I didn't choose the time, you know. All the weather.
and I didn't.
I'm telling you, if I didn't have a live scheduled, I was going to turn around and go home.
I suggested they should have gone on their crystal ball and and have a look into the future, but no one did. No one heeded my call.
Guys, can everyone please just try to bunch up a little bit towards the middle, and I believe the police will be stopping traffic because we're spinning out over the road.
Good. In that shooting. You know, Isaac?
Thanks for all the good work you do.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Do you want to get a different shot from somewhere? Where do you want to be? We'll cover the speeches today. I don't think there's a shot that's interesting for the live feed. I'll go up there. I'll go up there for the sound.
Yes, go for it.
Sorry. Get the sound. Sorry. Always trying to photobomb your shit. Been doing it for years. What is this? Well, I thought the Jews control the weather. What's going on?
Come on, guys, bunch up, get on the road, make some mates. Everybody is on the same side here for the right reason.
It's on our live stream. Hello, my brother. How you doing, brother? You good? Good to see you, man. I love you too.
Welcome, everybody.
And highly favoured.
And let's all just congratulate each and every one of you that were brave enough, strong enough to come out here, to not let the rain stop you. So everybody give yourselves a little bit of a round of applause.
Daniel.
Is that the best you can do? Aussie, Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
A little bit. It's a little bit of camera on the camera.
Daniel, you got to cover him so that the...
We are here today
Not the block for 360 too.
Don't worry about that.
for an extremely tragic reason. None of us wanted to be here today for this. But tragedy has struck Australia. Tragedy of the worst sort, the type that we never expected would darken our great southern land. And we see here the real Australians, the ones that understand that we're all about mateship, giving people a fair go, looking after each other, and not being extreme. Because we have seen what that led to. It's not theoretical anymore. So for all of you here, I'd like to first start with a minute silence to remember the victims of the Bondi massacre. So let's do 1 minute silent, starting now. Thank you. Thank you all for being here and for caring. We are all here as Australians, and so the right thing for us to do next is to play the Australian national anthem. And we're going to sing it. You guys ready? Australians, oh let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with joyful strength and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea, our land about in nature's gift of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. And we have a lot of incredibly gifted and people who have sacrificed a lot to be here, to put this event on, to give Australians a voice. And so the first person I'd like to invite up here onto the stage is Nick Patterson, head of the Australian Peacemakers. Everyone put your hands together for him.
Let's go, Nick.
Well, thanks for being here, everybody. It's a great blessing. I want to ask you a couple of questions. Do we have a government problem here? Yes! Do we have a jihadi extremist problem here? Yes! And are those two problems intertwined? Yes! Okay, good. We're on the same page. So, it's amazing to me that, you know, we've seen this happen all around the world, these extremist attacks. It's not all Muslims, it's a percentage of Muslim people hold those ideologies, but these ideologies literally want to kill you. And we have a government that brings them over and doesn't vet these people. We know they don't vet the people because we've got objective evidence that we can see. They brought ISIS brides over. They're bringing thousands over that can't be vetted. And we have a 1,400-year history of extreme Islamic violence against Jews, against Christians, against minority groups, and against other Muslims. That's reality. And we're bringing these people over here so that the government can have their own little voting bloc to preserve their power. It's just incredible. And they want to blame the atrocity that just happened on the guns, not the people that wielded the guns and had the guns. It's mental. So we can't. And then we've got Albanese trying to blame the far right and guns on this issue. We've got Jacinta Ardern, the state government, warning us to not share any anti-government speech or have anti-government. You know what? We have every right to criticise government, stand against government, to oppose government. That's part of being in the West. That's Western civilization. We don't live in an Islamic hellhole in the Middle East. We live in the West, but they want to create that. They want to turn us into the third world, and that's why we need to do everything that we can to stand against these people. They hate us. They hate our culture. And I'm not talking about all Muslims. I'm not talking about every Labor voter, but the government that we have now, this Labor government, and not just the Labor government, the Greens, and probably a lot of Liberals too, but also the people that have been brought over here. So many of them hate our culture, or don't even know what our culture is or what our values are. And And because they are facilitating this I think it's a strategic replacement of our culture. I think of our Western society as being has been a light to the world, and they need to get rid of that light. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to protest, abolition of slavery, all these amazing things, equality before the law, equality, men and women being equal. These beautiful, beautiful principles that have made us great, and now they're bringing people over to undermine all of these principles. And one of the ways and means, and actually, if you look at the wider Islamic issue, which is a war that's been going on for 400 years against Christian society, Jewish society, and any minority of a society, there's one agenda for these jihadi extremists, and that's take over and make our country, make the West, an Islamic hellhole. That's what they want to do, and they openly declare it. And we literally have hate preachers in mosques promoting violent jihad. We have people saying gas the Jews. We have pro-Palestinian groups screaming out globalised intifada. This is insane. Absolutely insane. And they're allowed to do it. Well, I tell you what, we have every right to resist it and fight back. We have, and if the government's going to stand in our way, we're going to push you out the way to defend ourselves, because our right is number one. And we're going to do it. So I want to share a Bible verse.
The government is the criminals here. The government.
Amen. I want to read you a Bible verse, and I think this sort of sets the moderate tone, but there is a more extreme tone, which will come if it has to. It's in Proverbs chapter 31, verse 8 and 9. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, and we're doing that. Okay? For the rights of all who are destitute, speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. That's the bare minimum that we should be doing, is speaking up and invoking others to have courage to stand against this evil that's been perpetuated upon us by extreme, loony, crazy jihadis and the government that supports them. The bare minimum we can do is speak up, and then anything beyond that is just a little bit of extra. And I think we should be doing everything we can to stop this, because we're in a war, and it's just begun here. This is the first battle in a war, but it's been waging for a long time. Let's take our country back, let's defend freedom, and may God be with us. Amen and amen.
Well done, Nick. Great speech. Fantastic. The next speaker that we're going to bring up here to the stage is one of the strongest speakers that I've heard. I've seen some of the speeches that he does up in Parliament, and he's not going to let the rain stop him, just like none of you are. I'd like to invite up to the stage the great David Limbrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the Jews control the weather.
Well, the weather couldn't be more appropriate, could it? We're not here to celebrate today. We're here because of the awful events that happened last week. But these events didn't happen in isolation. Like all Australians, I was shocked by the horror that happened in Bondi last week. But it's important for Australians, as Nick said, to think about what we are actually defending and our values. When I talk about Australian values and what I defend and what my party defends is the principles of Western civilization, the principles of liberty. That liberty and peace cannot exist when people carry out acts of violence against other Australians. The problem that we've got with the government's response now is, instead of naming the actual problem, which is a problem of ideas, radical Islam, what they're actually doing is going after people's rights and taking their rights away. They're talking about taking away firearms rights. They're talking about more restrictions on speech. They've already failed. Instead of stopping and reflecting on their failures of intelligence, their failures through immigration, their failures through policing, they're stepping forward confidently with no evidence that they've been successful in the past to infringe on our rights even further. I'd ask you this, what confidence do you have in their ability to be able to enact these things competently? Last time in Victoria there was a panic. They brought out machete bins. They have no track record to be able to fix these things. If we want to focus on fixing what's wrong here, we have to do two things. Firstly, we have to understand what really are the Australian values, and that is we have to focus on the principles of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of movement, these freedoms that we should never take for granted. And we also have to name the problem where it exists, this problem of ideas.
Yes!
The people that want to incite violence, that want to hurt other Australians, we must make sure that they're not welcome, that it's not part of Australian culture to do this. And if we want a peaceful and harmonious society, we cannot allow people to enact and initiate violence against other people. Thank you.
Sensational as always. Now, I'm not sure how many of you know, but our next speaker deserves a lot of credit and is one of the primary people that we reached out to put this event together. He's sacrificed a lot while working full-time and managed to pull this, get us all here. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Morgan Jonas.
Thanks, brother. G'day, mate.
I just wanted to get the mic right, not about you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I generally don't write a speech. I generally have a few points in my head and I go off it, but I want it to be very concise, and that's why I wrote a speech. So first of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for coming out today. Thank you so much. Given the weather, you've demonstrated something so very, very special. I know that each and every one of you here understands the murderous threats that are facing our country. Being here demonstrates, in my view, an unwavering commitment and devotion that you all have in your heart for our country in the future. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much for being here. Australia is in the midst of an existential crisis. Suicidal mass immigration policies are tearing apart the very fabric of our nation. Time after time, our political leadership exercises weakness when they need to exercise strength. And as it stands today, we are in a situation whereby terrorist cells have been left unobstructed to grow and flourish throughout our nation for years on end. Can you bring forward? The result being the cold-blooded murder of 15 innocent Australians from our Australian Jewish community, including our precious 10-year-old Matilda. And believe me, if things do not seriously change in our country, we have not seen the tip of the iceberg. Many more lives will be lost. In the midst of this horrific crisis, we of course look to our political leadership. And what do we see? Tell me, what do we see? We see the Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, delivering one empty, sanctimonious platitude after another, and doing everything in his power to absolve himself of ownership and responsibility in a desperate bid to salvage whatever is left of his dwindling political career. I know that I speak on behalf of you here today and millions of Australians when I address Prime Minister Anthony Albanese that we, the Australian people, we see directly through your bullshit. Yeah. We demand both your immediate resignation and that of your morally bankrupt government. For years on end, many of us begged the government to take seriously the threat of Islamism within our country. But time after time, not only did those who had the power refuse to act, they instead painted us as racist while parroting the deadly propaganda that diversity is our strength. This is nonsense. Let me declare that diversity is not our strength. Our true strength lies in standing tall as one people under one flag, having each other's backs when we're attacked, and never hesitating for a single moment to defend the freedoms of which our heroic diggers fought and died for. We must speak with honesty and clarity and call out this threat for what it is. It's Islamism. So the fact our government is now deferring and blaming this horrific incident on things like guns instead of addressing their own failures is not only disgraceful but an insult to every single Australian. Let me be clear. We have a people problem. Guns are not the problem in our country. And I'm going to say this and I'll probably get some pushback, but allow me to say that good people having guns to fight back is certainly part of the solution. One last point before I wrap up, and thank you again so much for being here. We need to address the fact that for over 2 years, pro-Palestine and pro-Hamas subversives have held our CBD hostage on a weekly basis. They've racked up more than $30 million in taxpayer money for police. They sabotage local businesses. Local businesses reporting up to 50% losses. They unleash violence, they attack us, they burn our Australian flag in the street, they incite hatred, violence and terrorism, and for the sake of everything decent and everything that is Australian, it's time that these weekly terrorist parades be shut down once and for all. And I hate to think what will soon happen if the government does not intervene. In closing, we cannot afford to stay silent anymore. We can no longer look the other way when we need to be paying attention. And if we fail to come together to put our country first, I guarantee you the future of our nation will not belong to Australian patriots. Rather, it will belong to traitors such as Anthony Albanese and foreign forces that seek our domination at the expense of our destruction. So ladies and gentlemen, stand tall, run for office, join the institutions. We must correct the course of history because future generations of Australians are depending on exactly the calibre of people that are standing out here in the rain. Never stop fighting for Australia. Thank you.
Powerful, powerful words spoken with passion. And you know what? Let's start a new chant, because I don't know about you guys, but I've had enough of Albo. I want him to go away. Make Albo go away. Make Albo go away. Make Albo go away. Make Albo go away. Albo go away. Albo go away. Now, many of you here recognise that what we've seen happen here in Australia comes from a familiar playbook. This isn't the first place that something like this has happened. And so the next speaker I'm going to bring to the stage is going to tell you exactly what happens, how all that goes down. Please put your hands together for Omid Rabdi.
Thank you so much, thank you. Hi everyone. The papers I'm holding represent the support of the Iranian community around the world. From more than 100 organizations and people who were forced to leave or live in exile because a radical regime took control of every aspect of their life. This letter represents the largest and strongest shows of support we have ever received from patriotic groups, both inside and outside of Iran. It is not symbolic, it is a warning. If we close our eyes to what is happening in Australia today, we risk losing our country and the values that hold it together. To the Jewish and Israeli communities in Australia and around the world, and to the Australian people, on behalf of 100 cities all around the world and its global network, including cities from inside of Iran. And when I'm saying inside of Iran, no one knows what will happen for those people who supported this paper. If they don't kill them, they definitely put them in jail for years and years. Across the United States, Europe, Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, along with many organizations, associations, and community groups, we definitely condemn the heinous terrorist attack in Bondi Beach during Hanukkah, which targeted innocent civilians during a time of peace and celebration. We stand in full solidarity with the Jewish community, with the victims and their families, and with all those who uphold human dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, Australians and friends, let me be clear. I stand here today as an Iranian Australian, proud of where I came from and grateful for where I stand. Not with hatred, not with threat, but with truth. What happens on Bondi was evil. Violence against innocent people must be condemned clearly and without excuse. I come from a country that once believed it could never ever happen here in Iran. Before the revolution in 1979, Iran was alive. It was a civilization thousands of years old, a land of poets, science, art, love, history, laugh, and everything. Women studied and worked. People spoke without fear. Then a radical ideology was given space. Just picture that. It didn't come with tanks. It came with promises. Slowly and quietly. It took everything. Freedom became a crime. And culture was erased. An empire that survived centuries of invasion was destroyed from within, not by foreign enemies, but by an ideology that could not tolerate freedom. Hear me clearly, please. Radical ideology does not only kill people, it destroys heritage, it rewrites identity, and it steals the future. I'm not attacking faith. Faith is personal and belongs to the heart. I'm warning you about radical ideology, and ideology excuse violence, rejects democracy, and places belief above human life. Australia is strong because Australia stands for something: freedom, equality, the rule of law, respect for women and for life. There are Australian values, but no country is immune if it forgets to protect what it stands for. Let me say this clearly. I was not born in Australia, and I didn't grow up here. I moved Australia just 6 years ago. Yet Australia gave me something priceless: a voice here, a platform to speak freely, peacefully, and openly. And now we are told this rally is against immigration and migrants and is extremism. That we are threat. That we are extremists. But if respecting Australia is called extremism, if protecting our country here from extremism, hatred, anti-Semitism is called extremism, I'm proud extremist. Iran thought it was strong too. Back to that one. We waited. We waited. I'm warning Australian people. We waited. We stayed silent, and we lost everything. Today, people in Iran are fighting for freedom with their blood. They are killing our people, killing our girls for refusing compulsory hijab by morality police. This is not the time to be silent. This is not the time to give space to radicalism. Putting Australia first is not hate, it's responsibility. Protecting Australia values is not exclusion, it's preservation. Giving a space to extremism is not tolerance, it is surrender. Giving a space to extremism is not tolerance, it is surrender. Waking up does not mean hate, standing up does not mean division, and it means saying together. Australia comes first, our values come first, human life comes first. No to violence, no to extremism, no to the destruction of what makes Australia free. I lost my country to this ideology, and I'm begging you, do not lose Australia too. Do not wait, do not look away. Protect Australia, protect its value, and protect it now.
It's important that we really listen to what Omid had to say, because that's the path that those who have come to this country are trying to push us down. But luckily, we still have some fighters in this country, some people that aren't going to give up. And so, based on that, I'd like to welcome to the stage next another wonderful one of our parliamentarians, Jane.
Just have to clarify that I'm not a parliamentarian just yet. I represent Family First political party. I'm the chair for Family First Victoria. Thank you so much for that warning. What an incredible speech we just heard, and I trust that we all just take it to heart. Fellow Victorians, I stand before you today with a broken heart. Broken-hearted for our beautiful nation, broken-hearted for the families of Bondi, broken-hearted for the 15 innocent lives stolen, broken-hearted for Jewish Australians who have pleaded for protection and been ignored. But beneath that grief, there is a white, hot anger burning in me. Anger at the failure of leadership. Anger at the silence in the face of evil. And anger after years and years of warnings, our governments, and I say governments, still doing nothing. Last Sunday in Bondi, 15 innocent people were butchered. They were Jewish. They were celebrating a special day, enjoying time together when evil struck. Islamic terrorism, right here on our soil. And let's be brutally honest, this did not happen in a vacuum. This was fruit of years of hate, of silence and of cowardice. Since October 7, 2023, we have watched as Labor, some Liberals, the Greens, the Teals, many Australian Muslims and the mainstream media have either cheated, justified or stayed silent while Islamic terrorists murdered Jews in Israel. We have seen rallies where people screamed, "Gas the Jews, F the Jews," on the steps of our Opera House. We have heard Muslim spokespeople claim Hamas was framed, as if the beheading of babies, the rape of women, the burning of families alive is some kind of a conspiracy. We have heard hate preachers in mosques and Islam centres glorify murder, call Jews vile names and call for violence. And where was the outrage? Where were the Muslim leaders? Where was the condemnation when Sheikh Ibrahim Dahu stood before a crowd in Western Sydney smiling, declaring a day of victory over the slaughter of Jews. Where was the condemnation when others held glory to the martyr, celebrating Hamas week after week in this city and around the nation, declaring the hate of our nation and the burning of our national flag? Silence in the face of evil is evil itself. Dietrich Bonhoeffer said it. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. When our leaders and communities stay silent while hate is preached, they are compliant. Calling out anti-Semitism is not brave. It's easy. It's reckless. Anyone can stand up and say, we oppose hate, while doing nothing to stop the real threat. Listen to me, Mr. Anthony and Miss Jacinta Allen. Actions speak louder than words. Real leadership means calling out Islamic ideology for what it is. Real leadership means demanding that hate speeches be silenced, that extremist organisations like Habut Tahrir be banned, and that those who support terrorism be deported. Radical Islam in Australia is not a religion of peace. It is an ideology that glorifies death, that chants from the river to the sea, a call for a second Holocaust. Week after week, year after year, we see it in sermons, we see it in the rallies, we see it in the universities, and we see it in the support for Hamas. Family First has been one of the few voices calling loudly alongside the Jewish communities, and we have issued more than 27 public statements over the past 2 years, derailing this support, this justification, this silence. But what has changed? Nothing! The media ignored it, the political caste ignored it, and now innocent Australians are dead. Guns are not the problem. The problem is Islamic extremism. The problem is an ideology that declares war on our way of our Judeo-Christian life and our freedoms and our children. We do not hate Muslims. We hate the ideology that turns some of them into killers. We stand for the safety of Jewish Australians and of all Australians who want to live in peace. So today we demand ban Hizbut Tahrir and every organisation that supports Islamic terrorism. Deport foreign nationals who preach hate and support terrorism. Hold Muslim leaders accountable for their silence and complicity. And protect our freedom of speech. Because the moment the government uses hate speech laws to silence those who speak the truth about Islamic extremism, our freedom is gone. Do you know we already have enough laws to put an end to this? We just need the political will. This is not about fear, this is about facts. This is about protecting our children, our communities, and our future. Will we be silent? No! We say we'll not be silent. Will we look away? No! No, we will not look away. Will another Bondi happen? No! We will not let another Bondi happen if we can help it on our watch. Australia must wake up. The time for real leadership is now. So peacefully and lawfully, today we make our voices heard. I think Elbow and Ellen must go. Can we say that? Elbow and Ellen must go. Elbow must go. Who has to protect? Who has failed to protect Australians and Victorians? Elbow and Ellen must go. Who has failed to protect the Jewish Australians? Elbow and Ellen must go. This is not about hate. This is about real leadership. This is about putting Australia first. I want to conclude by speaking a Bible from Numbers chapter 6. The Lord bless you, Australia, and all the people that abide here, and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you, and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you, and give you peace. Shalom. God bless Australia, and God bless you all.
Well, she wasn't in Parliament yet, but I hope she will be soon. It's time for all of us to say that we've had enough. We've had enough of the government treating us like idiots. We've had enough with people disrespecting this great country, disrespecting our flag, disrespecting our city, disrespecting our people. I don't know about you, but I've had it. It's not a joke anymore. People are dead. Innocent people. Innocent Australian citizens. Children. The elderly. Faith leaders. Police. They have lost their mandate, and they, if they have any self-respect, should stand down. Every one of you out here are strong, and today is just the first step, because they're going to try and ignore us. You know, they're going to treat us like the issue in Bondi, and they're going to call us extreme, far right, any label they can think of, because they are allergic to the truth. We are Australian patriots. We love this country. We would fight for and die for this country. And if people think that we're going to let a bunch of people fly in here and take it away from us, they got another thing coming. Because Aussies are pretty chill most of the time. We're a relaxed bunch of people. We believe in mateship, giving people a fair go. I don't care where you came from. If you come here and you do right by me, I'll do right by you. We'll be all right. That's Australia. When people try to come here and bully us into following in their ways that have led to so much hatred and death and violence and misery all around the world. We have had enough. And going on from today, Morgan and all the fine people that have put this thing together, they're going to have something on their website for you to connect with. And you'll be able to go on there so that the energy and the anger and the frustration that we all feel won't just disappear into the ether. We're going to translate this into real action. We refuse to allow ourselves to be dominated by Islamic supremacists. Nobody's better than anybody else by virtue of what they were born as. This used to be fundamentally understood in this country. So all of you here, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're hurting. We are really, really hurting. And to have the person who's supposed to be looking out for each and every one of us come out there and refuse to name the evil that perpetrated that massacre, and instead treat every single Australian like a complete bloody idiot, as if the gun was the problem. There were other guns in other people's hands. They didn't fix that problem. Let's do this together. Let's do this right. We will stand for Australian values, because in this country, those are the ones that matter. Going on from what's happened isn't easy. One of the victims that died in that massacre was my cousin. But let me tell you, do you think when these Islamic bullies came to shoot up the kids and all the people there, that he just fell around on the side? He didn't. He displayed Australian courage. And even though all he could grab in his hands was a brick, it was enough to get the attention of that shooter to focus on him. And he dared them to try and attack him. And we have so many heroes that we need to celebrate who actually did something. They didn't get up there and talk, they acted. And you know what? Look at what Australia said to them afterwards. This Ahmed El Ahmed, who tackled that shooter, man, am I proud that Australia donated $2 million to that very, very deserving man. It shows us who Australia is. We appreciate bravery, we respect it, and all of us are going to need it in what's going to go forward from here. So thank you so much for coming and being here and listening and being a part of this. But it's time to bring another speaker up to the stage. As you know, well, as some of you might know, there are some people that try to stand up against the hatred expressing and calling for death on our streets week after week. And so the person I'd like to call up next is my very good friend, Yakov Tremetz.
I want you all to take a look at this flag. Sorry, 1 second, I'm a bit of a short guy. Big things come in small packages, trust me. I want you to take a look at this flag. Take a deep look at it, especially those who are watching online and are not here today. If we don't stand up for this flag, we will lose it. For years, Australia has produced heroes. The Anzacs and many others who fought and died for this flag. Yes! All of you have come here today in the difficulty of a little bit of rain. You have braved the elements to do what's needed to stand up and talk out. I put the majority of the blame on the government for allowing our brothers and sisters to get murdered in our streets. However, at the same time, evil persists where good men do nothing. Where were you, the silent majority, the last 2 years? The good men and women of Australia have been silent. Where were you? Why did my brothers and sisters have to die for you to come out? I believe in you. I agree. The government has silenced us for too long. This is a warning to the government. If you will not protect us, we will. I want to share with you something that we've been told when we stand up against the hate and violence have been thrown against us as Jews and us as Australians. I've been called a Jewish Zionist extremist. They're close, but they got something wrong. And they missed out a very important part. I am extremely Jewish. I'm extremely Zionist and an extremely proud Australian. Let me tell you, when they say one of their verses, talking about a rock speaking up, saying, there is a Jew hiding behind me, come and kill him. I am not hiding. When they yelled out at Opera House, gas the Jews, which then turned into, where's the Jews? I'm right here. Woo! I am Australian, you are Australian, we are all Australian. Australia has been here for a long time and we are not giving up, we are not giving in, we are here to stay. If you don't like it, come on! I am demanding, because of his failures, the immediate dismissal of Albo. The immediate dismissal of Burke. The immediate dismissal of Wong. And the immediate dismissal of Jacinta Allen. I will not be told by one of the enablers of what happened on how, as a Jewish Australian, to stand up against it. I will not be told by those who allowed the hate to continue, the hate to go on, to tell me how to stand up to it. I will not be silenced. I will not be afraid. And I will not give in to terror. Because I rule my fears. They do not rule me. Now let's get something that we cannot get enough of. Let's get the sound of Australians standing up for Australia. So please, let's get it as loud as possible. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie! Oi! Aussie! Oi! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi! Thank you, everyone, for showing up and showing you care.
Sensational. And that's the strength of a soldier. The next person I want to call up here to say a few words is another one of the people that's brave enough to put themselves out there, try to get up there in the big house to actually change things. I'd like to invite to the stage Greg Cheeseman. Yay!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we get going, could we just have a huge round of applause for our organisers, in particular, our mate Morgan C. Jonas. It takes a lot of courage to put this together, and it's not easy, so thank you, Morgan, and everyone else involved. And it is an absolute pleasure to once again share the stage with Morgan and everybody else here. As I look out, and we're all wet, we're all a picture of drowned rats, and we've got some smiling faces here. Have a look around, because what you are seeing are the faces of courage. The courage of people who will not be put down. The courage of people who will not be silenced. And the courage of people who will not be dominated by a weak and incompetent government. We're all here today because our government has failed. The primary job of the federal government is to keep their citizens safe. Last Sunday in particular, they had a monumental failure. But it wasn't just last Sunday. This has been many years in the making. This has been working towards last Sunday for a very, very long time. It comes from a government who refuses to acknowledge the problem. You ask anybody here today, you ask anybody in Greater Australia, what is the problem that led to last Sunday at Bondi?
Radical Islam. Radical Islam.
Radical Islam.
I'm not hearing anybody say guns. And yet, the government's first reaction is to say we need to tighten the tightest gun laws in the world. How is it that Finland, who are in the top 10 countries of gun ownership in the world, do not have this problem? It tells me it's not the guns that are the problem. The problem, as you've all clearly articulated, is radical Islam. An ideology that is determined to exterminate other human beings. Now, we are a country of migrants. Our ancestors have all come from somewhere else. And I say to those people, you are welcome in my country. But there are a few things you must do. You must honour our laws. You must honour our people. And by God, you must honour my flag. But if you disrespect our laws, you must go. If you disrespect our people, you must go. And if you go ahead and burn my flag, you must go. And if you are a weak, pathetic government that will not acknowledge the real problems and you will fiddle around the edges to look like you're doing something without actually doing anything, you must go! Let me hear you! Melbourne must go! And we stand up for you every single day.
And our next speaker is a person that I've only recently met, but who projects strength, appropriate moral values, and someone that I'm proud and excited to welcome up here to the stage. So everybody please put your hands together for Zoltan!
First and foremost, I just want to say I'm absolutely humbled and honoured to be asked to do this. It's quite surreal, but the first thing I want to say to the Jewish community, Shalom, and my heart breaks. It's enough's enough. Enough's enough. Like, it's, I'm almost, words are not enough, and how can I, you know, after these amazing speakers, and this is the first time I've ever done something like this in my life, it's to see all of you. I was here at all the other protests, and being united is just an amazing thing, and that's what we've always been in Australia. And the drop of the ball by the leaders is just simply not good enough. It's absolutely not good enough. And sorry guys, I'm trying not to be nervous. I'm really trying not to be nervous. I I was trying to put a right speech together, but I wanted to speak from the heart because that's how we should, and what God puts in your heart is what I wanted to say. To the atrocities that happened, it absolutely broke my heart, and that Albanese had no shame to turn up to the funerals. It was, does he have no shame? Sorry.
Soulless rat. Gutter rat.
Yeah, it's just, and what, as a father of a young child, myself and young daughter, trying to fight back emotions at the moment, Matilda, that absolutely brought me to tears, and even right now, it's making me extremely emotional. That to happen on our amazing shores, it's just simply not good enough. I worked in the private security sector, and our job was to assess what is happening. And it's, to me, the drop of the ball by the people who, ASIO and, sorry to say, the federal police, to allow this to happen, it's simply not good enough. It's simply not good enough. And sorry, I didn't hear all that. But it's just simply not good enough. And Victoria, of late, we were the pride of Australia, we're the most livable city now. It's where everything is going. Yeah, it's, and the precedent for that was COVID. I'm going to say it was COVID. I lost my business. I lost my business as well. I lost 2 business partners who are no longer with us because they chose to no longer be with us because of that. Yeah? So I was probably one of the only guys who survived from that. Now I'm working with the less fortunate, rough sleepers, homelessness. I had a checkered past, guys, yeah? I had a really checkered past. And it was after that I've learned to give back and pay it forward. From my mentor, Mr. Wayne Farnham, he's my mentor, who's in the shadow cabinet with the Jess Wilson. So we need to get rid of Labor. It's enough's enough. I mean, even just what happened with the youth in Mordialloc 2 days in a row, we are on breaking point, and I said that to Wayne this morning, because I said I was nervous. I was extremely nervous about today, and it's very surreal. But if we don't band together and get control of what is going on, sorry to say that, God help us, even the youth, I'm a youth counsellor, they say they see no future. That's a scary thing, when the youth are saying they see no future. And when I saw that on Mordialloc 2 days in a row, and there's what they had to do, our generation would have never done anything like that. Never. So what is happening, the drop of the ball of state and federal government is beyond a joke. So ladies and gentlemen, if you can do me a favour, just everyone, turn to your left, turn to your right, shake each other's hand and acknowledge that we've come out. Seriously, guys. I'm still nervous right now, it's very surreal, but just pat on the back and just do that. Because we are the resistance, and we have got the tenacity to actually stand here. True? Yeah. That's it. And my nerves are going a little bit, but that's serious. Pat yourselves on the back, and God bless Australia. Let's get it back. Let's get it back, because like this, he has no shame. He has no shame. And I hope he actually sees this. I hope he does. Yeah, he needs to hang himself head in shame. Hang his head in shame. Yeah. To not turn up to the funerals. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, because I was extremely nervous, yeah?
He did an incredible job. Guys, this turnout has been heartwarming. And to close things out today, I just want to invite back up to the stage the primary organiser of this rally. Please put your hands together one more time for Morgan Jonas.
And for our wonderful MC, Isaac Feldman. Come on, guys. Hasn't he done a wonderful job? But most importantly, we've had some serious rain. Serious rain. It's been cold, uncomfortable. And the fact that each and every one of you has come out today to stand up for our nation, for our future, it's beyond heartwarming. I don't have the words to describe the pride in my heart and the extent to which I admire each and every one of you, and we need to spread this because this is the only way we get our country back. So thank you, and you've done a great job as well. So, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, the very simple fact of the matter is that if we do not instigate drastic change in this country, what happened in Bondi, it is the tip of the iceberg. It will continue to happen. Okay, the definition of insanity is, of course, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Today it's the Jews, tomorrow it's the Christians, or it's a New Year's Eve party, or a Christmas procession, or it's Easter, or it's a shopping centre, or it's somewhere else. I am telling you this right now. Please get active. Please get politically involved. The future of our nation depends on it. Your children and their children, they're depending on you to stand up and to be the change that we need in this country. We cannot stand by and allow the sacrifices of our diggers to be in vain. I do not want to imagine what this country will look like unless people like you take the reins. Please stay in touch. Check out our website, PutAustraliaFirst.com, and let's continue to fight for the most brilliant and special country on earth, our Australia. Thank you so much for coming out, and make sure you get home safely.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Aussie! Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
And a closing song, we're going to finish with Waltzing Matilda.
I reckon we just check. Alright, let's just do an ending. Well, there you have it, guys. Not a massive turnout today, but the rain was something incredible. It was super heavy, but a few hundred proud, angry Australians about what has happened last week, and I think that this is just the beginning. Oh, you found him? There you go, mate.
Waltzing Matilda, come waltzing Matilda with me.
He had a wedding. How you doing, mate?
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Thought might as well get you while you're here. Tell us why you're here.
Is that going to be too loud?
Should we move back? I think they're about done.
I think they're finishing now anyway. Did you want to wait a second? Or?
They could think of, and those are the kind of people that we want to bring to this country.
Okay, what brought you here today?
Look, I was asked by Yakov and Isaac to come along and say a few words. I think that it's really important that we acknowledge the ideas behind this terrible violence that happened last weekend, and also call out some of the government's responses to this. Like, they've been responding saying that the problem is like speech and guns, and I think that the laws, they've already got the laws there to be able to take control of the situation. If people incite violence, there's already laws against that. They've already got laws to take away gun licenses if someone's not a fit and proper person. So I think that we have to resist the the freedoms that are getting taken away by these knee-jerk responses that we have.
Do you think it's knee-jerk responses, or is it an intentional distraction to avoid having to talk about the real issue?
Well, maybe that's part of that too. I mean, it's been disappointing for them not to talk about, you know, the root cause here. Like, we have an ideological problem that's happened here, and I think today we definitely did call that out. But when our government's not calling it out and pointing the finger at other things like guns, you know, guns don't hate people. So I just think it's a big distraction, and we need to focus on what the real issue is and protect the freedoms that we have in Australia, because that's what makes us Australia.
Do you think anything's actually going to change, or because you've been in, I don't know, how long have you been in Parliament now?
Since 2019.
2019, so good. We're coming up to 7 years.
Yeah.
Do you think anything's going to change here?
Look, I think that there'll be big changes. How they go, I don't know, but like, clearly this was a pivotal moment in Australian history where we've had this horrific terror attack, and people are responding, and we're still going through that at the moment, right? The government tried to suppress this group of people today, tried to intimidate everyone into not talking because they don't want to have this discussion. But I'm glad that, you know, despite the rain and despite the intimidation, people came here and said what they had to say anyway, and I think that's good.
And finally on that, so it was interesting to me that the government was pushing so hard, both states, in condemning this, saying it was inappropriate, because today they've declared a day of, what did Albanese? Reflection or something. It's not even a Memorial Day or whatever, so I think they're having that next year. But what was that about? Because it seemed a bit bizarre to me. This was mostly organised. Morgan's the main organiser. He's a Jew. The other organisers from the Lions of Zion, it's one of his cousins, are one of the people that were murdered.
Shocking.
Is it the government's place to tell Jews how to mourn this attack on Jews that we've been warning about for 2 years now?
Absolutely not. I mean, people, like, I think the thing that's inappropriate here is the government just racing out with these new laws without a sober analysis of, like, what's actually been going on, as if they can solve the problem immediately, and they can't. Like, they've had a huge intelligence failure, they've had a federal policing failure, they've had a failure of their Home Affairs, like, they've had all these failures, and despite all of these failures, they think they can solve the problem just like that immediately. Like, I mean, they need to show a bit of humility here and say, okay, we've screwed up, we need to look at this carefully before, you know, doing something rash, which might actually make things worse. We don't know.
I dare say, I don't think that they think they're fixing anything quickly. They're trying to pass time and making people look over here so we don't actually look over there at the real problem. And I know in the Jewish community, people are not buying it, because people in the Jewish community have been on the receiving end of this hate, you know, especially since October 7, and been crying for help. And none of the Jewish community were complaining about guns or even hate speech. It's, you know, we have laws for incitement of violence, you know, and a lot of the Jewish community were pointing out that when you're calling for intifada in Melbourne on the streets, you're inciting violence on the street, and globalising the intifada. That's exactly what we ended up seeing. So those laws exist. Just enforce them.
Yeah, look, if the government can't even enforce the laws that we've got, what business do they have going about introducing new laws as if that's going to do something? Like, everyone points to the government and says, look, you know, they need to do something, and the government tries to act and do something. But, like, if you're going to do something here, the way to really respect the memories of those people that have been slaughtered and to actually do something good is to actually think about it and think about the failures that we've had here, because there's been some very serious failures. I've got serious concerns about I've said it a few times, I've got serious concerns with our intelligence agency. Like, how did these guys go to the Philippines and get training and come back and they'd already been watched, like they're already being watched by ASIO? Like, how does that happen? I don't know, like, it just seems like a failure to me.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing that they're doing is, whenever they're asked about what they're doing, they're saying they're tackling hate, and they somehow slip in the Nazis but refuse to say radical Islam. Is that, again, because it's low-hanging fruit, it's easy to pick on the white supremacists, no one likes the white supremacists, plus the white supremacists don't make up their voting base?
Well, look, they're both bad, but, you know, one's a clear and present threat, obviously, and that's the issue, I think. So, Look, I just want the government to have a more sober analysis of this, because I don't think that what they're doing with these new restrictions on firearms and things like this, I don't think that that's going to fix the failures that they've had. They really need to, I know there's been calls for a Royal Commission. I'd support that. I think that we really do need to look at what's actually happened here and the failures that we've had, so we can make sure it doesn't happen again.
Finally, message to, I guess, the Jewish community a week on from that attack.
Look, my heart goes out to you. It's awful for all Australians, but particularly for a community that's been targeted like this. It's shocking to everyone, and there's many Australians, including myself, who are sympathetic to what's been happening and have your back.
Thank you, David.
No worries.
As always.
Cheers.
All right. I think we can wrap it up. I don't think we'll produce that into. I think you can make short clips out of the film, out of the speeches. Yeah. I don't know.
He's always like everything's a psyop.
Oh, yeah. He was from COVID.
I think I want them to...
It's a pleasure to see you in person.
No.
I need them.
I want them to actually try and firstly state...
All right, I reckon we wrap it up. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to wrap it up. It was a great somber event. Crazy amounts of rain. You probably caught some of it in the footage, and I know that Lens was quite wet for some of that. Sorry about it. I didn't realise it. You know what? To be honest, I understand. I reckon a lot of people were on their way here and they probably spun around and go, nah, I'm going home, because I almost did that if we didn't have a scheduled live feed. So well done to everyone that actually did come out and braved the rain and sent a message. And I think this is just the beginning. But for now, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button before you go. Hit that share, let people see what happened here on the steps of Parliament in Melbourne this very, very, very wet Sunday afternoon. God bless you all. And happy Hanukkah, I guess. And Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
With other things that are not going to help.
Thank you. Dave, do you think some